Hi. Good evening. As many of you probably already know, I'm Sherry, Jeannie's older sister. Although Jeannie will probably argue that she's the older one in the family. Majority-wise, so she says. So as children, Jeannie and I were pretty much inseparable. And it's not because she follows me around like little sisters do, but it's more because I always feel safe whenever she's around me. Although much younger than I, Jeannie has always been much more independent and self-sufficient than I ever was. And she always has been a great support and inspiration for me growing up. Jeannie always managed to make me laugh. I remember there was once that I laughed so hard at her joke that I spit out a mouthful of soup at her. Of course, she was pretty angry after, which, as you can imagine, made this incident actually an even fonder memory for me. If you know Jeannie, you probably wouldn't be surprised to hear that Jeannie has always been a great lecturer and a critic of everything and anything I do, whether I like it or not. According to Jeannie, she's the one that taught me the birds and the bees. Now, I will not comment on whether or not that's true, but that is what she believes. So in the past year, she's interrogated all my boyfriends in great detail, from their past relationship to the income filed on their W-2 forms. And she's helped me with my career choices and work challenges. In my years of knowing Jeannie, she's never held back on her criticisms about me or anything I did, until a recent trip that I took to New York. This was one of those nights when Jeannie was about to start on a rampage, chastising me on my past relationships. Just when I was about to shut my ears, I heard Jim whisper to Jeannie, "My mother always told me, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it." And those magical words stopped Jeannie with her chastising. It's that miraculous moment when I realized it is great to have Jim as my brother-in-law. Well, despite the selfish reasons that I have for being happy that Jim is now part of the family, I also sincerely believe that Jeannie has found her true match. The first time I met Jim was in a cooking class in New York. My first impression of Jim that he was a very quiet and well-mannered guy. During our cooking lesson, the cooking instructor was explaining everyone's task, and he was telling Jim, well, you need to put this to that, and then afterwards you boil this, and then you put it there, and then 5 minutes later, you put it there. So Jim just smiled patiently while the instructor rambled on and on about the complicated procedures. Finally, after the instructor was done, the instructor looked at Jim and asked, "You have no idea what I'm saying, do you?" Jim just smiled and nodded. In that moment, I knew Jim is a perfect match for Jeannie, because I knew whenever Jeannie starts to vent like a crazy woman, as she often does, Jim will listen patiently whether or not she's making any sense. And I think this is also one of the keys to a very successful relationship. Through our trips together and many nights of spending at Jeannie and Jim's, I also found that Jim is a very caring, easygoing, interesting, and smart person. Most importantly, he's been a great support for Jeannie. And he's brought out that little woman inside of Jeannie, reminding her that it's okay to lean on someone, that it's okay to need someone. Now that I am so happy that she has Jim to be there for her forever and always. Jim, I'm honored to welcome you into our family. As a word of advice, always remember to say those 3 little important words. You were right, dear. Remember, a happy wife makes for a happy life. And Jeannie, you look beautiful today. I'm so proud and so happy for you. Thank you for being a supportive sister. And as a word of advice, Jeannie, if you're clever, you'll always have the last word. However, if you're very clever, you won't use it. Now, everyone, please raise your glasses and join me in my toast to Jeannie and Jim. Hope you will enjoy each other and cherish your time together. Spend more time loving and less time fighting. Remember to have a great sense of humor and a short memory. Congratulations.
Cheers.